NRG abused Loud in two ways. One, they abused Loud's comp here on Sunset with the No Sentinel, and two, they abused the fact that Sunset is a broken map.
But
yeah,
again, a treat, as we've never seen him play this agent before.
I have a good idea that he's going to be pretty nice. I think you could put Demon 1 on anything from what we've seen, and he'll be adequate. And maybe a little bit more than that. Astro, Omen, whatever. You know.
NRG on the attack. You see Wingman already going.
Oh, that shock dart damage is big.
That paranoia is certainly going to help. Demon 1 already getting the first.
But he still has nade.
That was a free one too. His Tui's couldn't see a dang thing.
He's going to try to fight backside with nade? They are.
Crashy swinging out. McCollum there with 2 big kills, flirting with the third. Ultimately doesn't find it, but Victor's left with 10 HP. They're still playing inside the smoke. Sadak trying to creep his way out, trying to find a kill with the frenzy and cannot. Less now in a 1v2. Cam cleared. Yeah, and he hasn't gotten that far. Victor's just playing with him, playing with his food. There's the swing out.
So, a couple things going on in this one then. It's a really nice idea by NRG, and as we are going to see in this video, NRG basically abused this B site from Loud. The thing is, of course, as I've made a video on it very recently as well, Sunset is broken, right? Like, the B post plant is just group up in B and just spam. NRG don't fully go for that, but the thing is, when we're doing this, right, and we're taking this B site, because we know that this post plant in here is so strong, what that means is we don't actually have to take that much of the site. Right, so what we're going to see here from NRG is it's just, you know, Cypher Cage up, KO Knife in here, and then as soon as this KO Knife doesn't suppress anyone, Wingman's coming in with the spike just here, you know, quick Dizzy Flash, and that's it, right? We don't really need to, you know, use too much, right? Demon 1 doesn't use his nade or anything like that, and all now we have to do, right, is protect the spike, right? So this is what NRG's kind of second plan is. Now that Wingman is planting the spike, we just obviously have to protect it, don't let these guys swing out the smoke, so that's what kind of the next phase of the plan is here from NRG. You see, you know, we flood forward, make sure that these guys can't destroy the plant, because then we would actually have some problems, and so it's well done here by NRG as well. They find the first kill. Now, I will say for Loud as well, Loud did this wall on their pistol. I have no idea why. This is honestly, it helps NRG in this round. This is like the perfect wall for NRG, because it helps protect kind of, you know, from anyone swinging from back here whilst it's up. The only way that this wall makes sense for Loud, and, you know, like if we go back to the start of the round and see what Loud were doing, like, you know, it was just Sadak here on B, and then he quickly leaves. You know, obviously this wall does allow you to maybe sneak out to mid and get a bit of a fight going on here if NRG did come to mid. But the problem is, again, it just doesn't really make sense for, you know, if the spike gets planted here, right, and then they come and play a B main post plant, which is pretty much what's going to happen, especially against the Gecko comp, you just end up, like, helping protect them, and then you've just done nothing, right? You've done nothing. It might literally help NRG, and it does in this instance as well, because then Crashy actually uses the wall to sneak up and calls for a flash, and then gets a kill just there as well. And then once we get the trades back and forth, obviously then we see that, yeah, the map is just broken. Again, this is NRG smoke to stop Loud coming in, right? So we're smoking ourselves off from the spike on a pistol round with only 3 players alive, but it does not matter because, you know, it's just, it's too easy to win from these situations, and I really do hope that, you know, they either just change it on its own, right? Just come up with some changes anyway, or maybe take the map out of rotation if you have to change it, because it's too much. But what I did like from NRG is that whilst, yes, they were just abusing Loud, who often will have some kind of setup that does look something like this, where Les will generally just play B on his own. And of course, most of the time you're thinking don't go towards Les, and that certainly was the case in the first map as well. But the thing is, like, when, for instance, you know, like in this round where they've got a Razor, it's like, well, we'll feel confident enough to take a site, right? He's going to have to back out against a Razor. And what I like here is that they didn't always play the, you know, kind of super passive post plant, because if you always play that post plant, then you could be in some trouble, right? So here, for instance, again, is another, we're just going to group up, take B, but what we're going to see in this one is with the Razor, we're actually going to push deep on this post plant. And then that means later on when Loud, you know, it comes and happens again in later rounds, Loud do still have to worry about, you know, clearing some stuff out and not just, you know, using all their util for B main, because they've seen now, you know, a different post plant, right? The NRG aren't doing it all of the time.
Here to go. There it is.
Here we go!
Well, that was underwhelming. He got out though. flash, so QCK popped his ult. He's gonna swing out and try to take the fight, but Victor pushing forward, cleans him up.
And so Loud would actually take a timeout after that round, and so we come right into the next one though. Round number 6, and straight away NRG are just going for the same plan. Now you see straight away they're ready for if there is aggression, right? Because Loud have just taken a timeout. So you can see Marv here, he's ready to throw a flash, right? He's expecting that someone really might be there. This time the camera doesn't get destroyed, so they just walk up, and they're going to find the first kill here again. Now QCK this time will put up a pretty good defense, right? He does pretty well. He maneuvers around. He doesn't give up the site, right? This is off the timeout, probably what Loud talked about, like you must be aggressive here. So he does really well here, QCK. Manages to get a couple kills before obviously he gets detained and dies. But then we end up in this spot, right? So now we're in a 2v2. Okay, and Loud is still pretty far away, and back we come back to B main. But it's Crashies and Victor together, and here is the second problem with this kind of B main post plan. Is again, you're going to be so worried about this and so focused on this that this wraparound here is a very successful plan, right? And specifically for where the spike gets planted here. It's funny we make comparisons to kind of Pearl B with the spam from B main, but of course on Pearl B, like if you wanted to wrap around all the way, you know, that would take you quite a while. Well, here on Sunset, it doesn't take that long, right? So this is a very viable option. And so Crashies just does a good job here, throwing out the mosh pit, basically just surviving, creating some distractions, right? Sending out his Dizzy Flash, and gives Victor the time. Yes, okay, Victor is gonna whiff a bit here, but it's good stuff, right? And Crashies is gonna end up winning this round. But again, it's just another layer of why this is so difficult, because this is always like a secondary option that you have to be worried about for the defenders as well. So there's just like no respite essentially of what to do if you are the defenders in this situation, because it's just so difficult. And then the very next round after that, we saw that NRG are capable of abusing Loud's comp.
The first blood. I think last map alone he had 7, and I'm already counting just myself right now. I think he's had at least 3 out of the 6 rounds that have been played in Marv. I haven't seen Marv do plays like this where he takes instant timing in a long time. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Vintage Marv.
Yeah, Marv against no Sentinel is quite tough to play against. Let's just put it like that, because I'm pretty sure what happens here is they put the camera up here early, so they got the camera in the window, and that I think would have spotted both these players. And then they go for the gecko flash as well, and I think this actually shoots a third time. We see it shoot twice at these players up here, but I think it shoots a third time as well. And so Marv instantly, like after seeing the pressure here, and they do send out a breach stun here Loud as well. So they kind of perhaps get the idea early on that there's 3 players there, and they've struggled so much with B that Marv probably has a decent idea. They ain't playing retake B. So this is a really nice little play by Marv overall. Now, I do think that maybe NRG, you know, do maybe get a bit too over-exaggerated here with, you know, trying to swing out, because actually multiple of them die trying to take this fight whilst Marv, you know, is in such a good spot. So they actually only end up in a 3v2 from this. You know, maybe they could have, you know, just sent a bunch of, you know, sent a bit of util there rather than actually swinging out themselves and wait for Marv. But either way, it ends up working really well, and, you know, they get the breach out as well. And again, this was just, Loud are going to have to change the comp. Like, they're just going to have to. I don't really see how this is going to be sustainable for them to keep playing this, because Sunset was kind of the last map where it looked like this kind of idea was going to keep working. But then after this game, of course, now it looks like it's not going to work, and Demon One's hitting shots like that, and yeah, there wasn't really much to do. And so NRG have kind of the perfect player to exploit what Loud's comp is, but also they have the comp, and this is really the comp to just exploit this part of the map, right? You come here as a 5, you got the Cypher Cam to check early on if anyone's being aggressive on you. If not, then okay, we can just send a KO knife in here, clear this part of the site. Okay, no one's there, which they weren't pretty often for Loud either, right? So we know we can go and plant the spike. All we got to do is defend it, send in the gecko flash, send in the wingman, come back here, chill, we win the round, right? And then every so often, we're going to have a raise ult. And if we raise ult, then you have to give up the site. And every so often, we're going to have a gecko ult. And if we have a gecko ult, you're probably going to have to give up this part of the map. I mean, even if you want to be aggressive early on, right, and we've got a gecko ult, we can use the first part of the gecko ult to clear this, and then the second part to get the site. Like, there are just so many different options that this comp gives you to just abuse this part of the map. And I really, really hope that Riot is taking note and hopefully working on changes already, because this is only going to become more and more of a problem as we see more and more people adopt this idea.